All right.
Hey, everybody. Oh my gosh, it is already freaking January 13th, 2020. That is ridiculous, isn't it? We're midway through the first month of the year, and the things that you all are doing, it's absolutely incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of the work that you poured into the Operation Underground Railroad campaign. Whatever the results are in terms of product sales, honestly, I don't even care in terms of product sales. But if we raised awareness, that is ginormous. And I know in the event that Dory happens to hop on, I'm gonna ask her to share, but Dory McGee, Dory Drago, one of our partners, shared, hey guys, just in case you're wondering whether or not this is a big deal or not, one of my friends who's on social media following me sent me a message saying, hey, thanks for all the info you've been giving on social media. I've been paying attention. And there was someone, she's a teacher, someone in my class that I was feeling uncomfortable about. And with all your information, I went to other people within the school system. We all collaborated and ended up reporting something. Like, that just gives me chills that we just raising awareness could have saved a baby, you know, just through our efforts. Just even if it's just one, and I know that is beyond that. I have had people in my circle of influence message me about their own personal experience, about having PTSD surrounding this, saying, hey, Tina, I can't really participate because of XYZ. So this awareness is really stirring things up. And if we have friends or circle of influence or partners who have experienced this in their own personal life, that just goes to show you how huge this is. And so naturally, by the way, if someone tells me they're having PTSD around it and they can't post, I'm like, heal you. You have no obligation to this campaign. Heal you, and we'll take care of this until and if you are ever ready to do something outside of yourself. But it just goes to show you how ridiculously horrendous this evil is that's out in the world. So thank you all for participating in it, and we appreciate you greatly, and can't wait to kind of get the results and see what we can do to brag on you all for what you've done. So tonight, Joe has some very valuable content for you all. So, you know, some of you guys are new to Joe. You may not know his background. I'm just gonna, as a proud wife, brag on him for a second, because he always is in the background in terms of supporting everyone humbly. He doesn't like recognition. He's sitting here very uncomfortable right now because I'm brag on him a little bit, but right. He is the backbone of this team. He is by many known as Papa Joe, for his support in the background on the business side, on the numbers side, on the strategy side. And that's the backbone of this business. It doesn't matter who you recruit in here if you can't share with them the vision and the numbers. And he is the man for that job. He comes from a career corporate banking background, like not just corporate banking, but like always, because of who he is and his integrity and character, being, you know, number one in a team and multi-million-dollar deals that he negotiated. He really takes his role seriously, and he transfers his corporate experience into this team and brings great value. So many of you know, you have reached out to me and asked me about XYZ because I'm the front person on our team. So who's reached out to me and said, hey, can you tell me about blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never understood a comp plan in 9 years, but you can reach out to Joe. He's your guy. So we love being able to give our team double value. His strengths are different than mine, and we get to complement one another to be servants to you all. So I'm going to turn this over to Joe because he has a great share about the very basics of mastering the mundane in this business. Take it away, baby.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you all for being here. Congratulations for being just a few tonight. I mean, here's the deal. This is really what it all amounts to, honestly, we can look at this phone call and we can, this team call and say, we've got 1,000 people on this team and only 8 show up for an evening 8 o'clock call. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. But the reality is this: most aren't going to do things, okay? But here's the trick: getting the most amount of people to do a few very basic things. And here's what we want to talk about tonight is, how does duplication and the simple things produce a business? And Tina mentioned about my banking background and that kind of stuff. Look, how many people have been in a corporate or sales background before for a company? Shauna has. Okay. Now, anytime you're in a sales position for a company, they are going to say your goal this year is X amount of goods to be sold, X amount of loans to be closed, X amount of millions of dollars of the volume of business to be sold and closed. And in order to do that, they sit there and they say, okay, now here's how we're going to do that. If your goal is, $50 million as a banker, that's going to break down to, $4 million per month. And here's what you're going to make your calling efforts. We're going to measure your pipeline. How many times are you getting out each week to talk to clients? How many, calls are you making? And they're actually tracking them. And you're reporting how many calls you're making. And they're looking at every week and they're saying, where are you? Or you're in a team meeting and they're like going through all the closings and the status of each deal and the sales pipeline. And if you don't have anything to report, they're just asking you, are you even doing it? I mean, what's going on here? Because believe me, if you're not doing it and you're not measuring those things, guess what? It won't be long before you don't have a job.
Shauna's nodding her head.
And this is, the reality is, the reason why a team doesn't produce is people aren't doing these very basic things. And if you have people on your team and they aren't growing, it's because they're not doing these very basic things. And if we have a team and it's not growing, it's because we don't have the people, the right people, doing the very basic things. Let's just be honest here. There is no secret to how this business is done. There is no magic to how this business is done. You know what it is? Boom, rolling up our sleeves, elbow grease, and you just get out there and call and call and call and reach out to people and invite. And you know what? After a while, you keep doing that, you have people to talk about. You have deals to talk about. You have, testimonies to talk about. But if people aren't doing that, it's not going to produce anything. And success in network marketing is getting a lot of people to do a few basic things. And I wanted to start out with just GoPro. I mean, this is the very basic thing. And I don't know if people don't put it together, how easy this business is. Again, congratulations to you few that are showing up here tonight, because guess what? All you're trying to do is make it in between people, outlast those others, okay? We're here to outlast others in between people that are dropping off and everything else, because guess who makes the big money? The ones who get to the next event. Guess who makes the bigger money? The ones who get to the next call, the ones who get to the next meeting, the ones who get, the next invite out. And it's all it is you're just doing the things until you find another person that produces, right? Do you know the parable of the sower, right? The sower and seeds, right? I'm not a church-going Bible, I don't care. But what does it do? The sower, he spreads his seeds, right? And some falls on rocky ground, and some falls on bad soil, and some falls on fertile soil. And isn't it amazing when some falls on fertile soil? But guess what? Even when it falls on fertile soil, some of them are going to produce a little bit, some of them are going to produce a little bit more, some of them are going to produce a lot. Guess what? It's not your job to determine who produces what or what. All your job is to do is go out and spread the seeds, right? That's what the sower does, is keep sowing their seeds. And this book, Eric Worre, GoPro, has been so valuable to us, and we want to talk about the 7 steps to becoming a network marketing professional. 7 steps. There's only 7 skills involved in becoming a professional. And then if you go into our group, we have the DMOs, the file for daily method of operations. I bumped up today. Print that out, because we're going to kind of go through those things and the daily checklist to see how this all ties together, because this business is so simple, right? And all that we do is we let our head get in the way. We let our mind get in the way that, oh my gosh, nobody's joining me. Oh my gosh, this person isn't producing. Oh my gosh, this isn't, you know what? Forget about it. Forget about it. Just keep going out there and spreading your seed, okay? Now, here's the deal. When you signed up, you remember in Eric Worre, there's 3 types of people. Do you remember what they are? What are they, Shauna? Who are they?
They are the posers.
Posers.
They are the amateur.
The amateurs.
And then there is the professional network marketer.
That's right. Perfect.
My book is so highlighted. I was going to grab it, but it's on my bedside table.
That's a great job.
Student of the book.
And let me tell you, a lot of people are posers. A lot of people will come in and think this is going to be easy, and then they go out there and they take their 5 swings and they get through our phase 1 of our training, right? Which our phase 1 is just your first 10 people. And they think that they're going to get rich off the first 10 people. And guess what? When those 10 people don't join them or buy something, they quit, right? They're posers. They're posers. You know why? Because they're not even willing to move on to phase 2 and phase 3. Right? Phase 2 and phase 3 is when you keep going into your warm markets, and then who are amateurs? Amateurs are the people who come in and say, I'll get my list of 100 or 200 people, right? And they go through those 100 or 200 people, those warm market or friends, and they think that they're going to get rich. And when they don't get rich through their list of 200 friends, what do? They stop inviting people. They don't add friends.
Here's a road test. Anyone here know me in 2011?
Nope. None of you. We didn't know any of you. And that's a good point, because you're going to meet people.
Let's see here's personally sponsored. There's 1, 2, 3 on this call who are personally sponsored to me now. I had no idea who you were in 2011.
That's right. Somebody you don't even know is going to impact your life more than you can imagine. You have not met them yet. When we came into network marketing, my niece signed me up in 2011, and we blew up the team for this guy. He had no idea who we were, and you know what? Within 8 months, he had 300 people on his team from us, and he had no idea who it was, and that turned into thousands of people. He had no idea who. He eventually got to know us, of course, but the point is this: my niece, who was five layers away from him, introduced us, and we made a difference in his business because there was a process in place. You duplicate the process, you eventually meet people. But the third type of person, the amateur, is going to quit after 100 or 200 names. They're going to think that's all the people they know. But the professional shows up. They go out And what do? They work on these 7 skills, okay? And what are these 7 skills? Skill number 1, finding prospects. What does our checklist daily tell us to do? Find a way to connect with new people daily. It says that right on there, right? So all we got to do is go out on Facebook and build relationships with people, add new people to our friends list every single day. 5 people per day times 365 days per year would be about 1,600 plus people, right? 1,700, 1,800 people, something like that, okay? Now, are we going to run out of people if we just added 3 to 5 new people per day to our network?
No way.
No way, all right? And by the way, sidestep, our Facebook wall, think of it like our Facebook is like a magazine. Our headlines, the magazine to draw people in. You know, if you ever read a magazine, if you want to know how to put headlines on your webinars, headlines on your lives, headlines on your whatever, go look at a magazine and see what draws people in. When you're at the grocery store and you pick up a health magazine, what does it say? Discover how to lose 10 pounds in 10 days, right? Those are headlines to draw people in to what? Open the magazine, read through, get the content. Every day in our Facebook page, then we're also adding content. Those are the stories. And then once in a while, we put an advertisement in for our company. But guess what? The real work gets done through Messenger, right? You got to, through Messenger or telephone. If you can get on telephone, great. But that is how we should be running our business. And so that's skill number 1, finding prospects. You just got to constantly be building. Skill number 2, inviting prospects to understand your product or opportunity. So if you've been providing content, right, about your product or opportunity, what value we give to people, meaning what problem do we solve for people, right? CBD helps with sleep. CBD helps with anxiety. CBD balm helps with sore muscles. You know, our energy capsules help with fatigue and focus, blah, blah, blah. If we talk about what we get from it, therefore they see what they get from it, then people are not going to be so surprised when we invite them to take a look at our product or opportunity. What do people want in this business? When they join the business, I asked this question the other day, what was the overriding thing that people wanted out of the business? I said, what was the one thing you wanted when you joined this business? Anybody remember that? Post. Daniel, what did you say? I'll unmute you. There you go, you're unmuted. Oops. Wait. You're muting me and I'm unmuting you. There you go.
Financial freedom. I said financial freedom, and plus the products are the bomb. They're working excellent for me. Awesome. I've been sleeping almost 10 hours a night since I started taking the oil.
That's
and
awesome.
I normally slept 5-6 hours a night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you put that in the testimonials page?
No, but I will.
But I should.
Please put your picture with that, or do a live in there and share that story. That's huge.
It is.
How much better would this world be if people got a full night's sleep?
Yeah, Tina would be a lot less cranky.
I
sleep great. I got CBD, plus, baby.
Yeah, and plus I sleep with 3 dogs, so you know.
My gosh.
Someone's always waking me up, and like last night, I couldn't believe it. Through the nights, they're not waking me up because they toss and turn just like I do.
Yep. All of that is something to please share. Anyone on this call, please share in the testimonials page, because we need to spread the word like that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's what we do. That's how our content can be, is what problem does our product solve? Do people want, so the key thing that was said there is more financial freedom. And I'll put that as more choices if you had more money, right?
Right.
And so that means, you know, less credit card debt, less stress, less fighting between spouses, less, more vacations, less student loan worries. All of these things that people want our opportunity solves those problems. That's what we sell. Nobody wants to join a business. People want to get what it is that the business provides. When you go and you want to you sell a drill, okay? If you've got to sell a drill, you do not sell the drill. You do not sell the features of the drill, that it's high speed, variable speed, blah, blah, blah. You know what people want? People aren't buying the drill. What are they buying it for? They're buying it to get the hole in the wall, to hang the pictures that are hanging up behind each and every one of you, to see that picture of their family or whatever, right? That's what they want the drill for, is the hole, not the drill, right? So that's what we have to learn to sell and provide value towards, is what is it that we're solving, okay? And so you see on the daily checklist, inviting prospects, skill number 2, inviting prospects to understand your product or opportunity. On our daily checklist is posting it, let's see, we'll get back to the social media, but add 3 to 5 people per day, post on social media per day to help connect with people, add value, invite 3 to 10 people a day to take a look at your opportunity. See how it goes right back to this book, what it teaches. These are the simple skills for. Skill number 3, presenting your product or opportunity to your prospects. Now, this book will tell you how to give your 30-second story. My life before I found CBD, my life before I found Life Activated Brands, what I found from it, why you should listen to me, or simply, and then simply pointing people, asking people the question, then pointing people to the webinar, right? That's all we do. We don't have to be the experts. We don't have to present the opportunity. We have information. We have a website that does it for us, right? So, and then skill number 4, following up with your prospects. What's number 5 on our daily checklist? Follow up with 3 to 5 people, right? And so that's all we do. Those people that we've talked to in the past, making sure we're following up with a few of them every day, right? Here's the thing that people don't understand. Most people I don't understand. The average sale is done on the 7th or 8th or so exposure, meaning 8th or so time you touch that client, met with that client. If you're a sales officer like Shauna, and you're prospecting a new client, they're not going to just take their business from somebody else, right, that they develop a relationship with and start doing business with you. They want to see, is this guy going to stick around? Is he real? Do they have a real product? They're going to do their research. They're going to ask around town. And you've got to keep whining and dining. Maybe you take them out to golf. Maybe you take them out to a ball game. All these things that you do. But that's the same thing that we do. Now, the thing is, go back to amateurs and posers. Are they following up with people? Are they sticking around long enough to follow up with people? No. If you can't be there to follow up with somebody 5, 6, 7, 8 times, build that relationship with people, how are you going to get into and get beyond the 100 and 200 friends? See what I mean? You're forming relationships with people all over again. So it takes time to do that. And that's what we're all doing here, is time, right? I mean, we have to just keep spending time doing the same thing over and over again, okay? So skill number 5, helping your prospects become customers or distributors. What do we teach? A system. Plugging people into a system. We can take our system, and whether or not you've ever done network marketing before, the idea is that Tina uses the same system that, say, Crystal uses or Ann uses, right? You plug people into that getting started post. You say, start right here, follow the post, get this book, right? And go through these things. And it's a process. It's a system so that everybody can do it. Guess what? Systems are what create wealth and success. Systems duplicate. Personalities do not duplicate. Okay, we keep saying that over and over again, right? Because network marketing is getting a lot of people to do a few basic things over and over again, and we can't duplicate, Tina or Melissa or some of the people that you see adding people all the time, you can't duplicate that personality. But you know what? You can duplicate, somebody adds 2, and then you teach them how to each add 2. That's 4. Then they each learn how to add 2, right? See what I'm saying? The duplication comes through. We can teach a system, because it doesn't matter how many people you recruit. It matters how well we duplicate a system, right? Okay. So skill number 6 is helping your new distributor get started right. So go back to the same thing. We have a system. We plug them into the customer testimonials group, give them a little love there. Our texting system has a follow-up and everything else to show you what to do with customers. Jessica has built a great app for us to use. And then, of course, we can check in with people in the customer group, or to see how they're doing with the products, and just showing them, that you care. Right? That's all it is when you're dealing with the customers. Of course, you eventually might want to say, hey, if you know some people, you might want to refer some people, right? And at that point, you can get a discussion whether or not they want to upgrade to an IBO or not. Most don't want to. Okay, don't force anything, because we want customers, and as you know, you got to have 2 customers minimum at all times paying you to keep going up the scale. So don't ruin good customers. You know what I'm saying? And then skill number 7, promoting events, which brings us to Dallas is coming up, April 16th, 17th.
Who's going to be there?
April 17th, the morning of. So most people are getting there 16th at night, Sunday.
Yep. I know Ann cannot make it. Crystal, are you coming? Are you able to share? Densum's iPhone.
Yep.
Can you tell us in
so
message stream?
Most people in this book will tell you, for every person that you get to an event, it's like, what is it, $1,000?
$1,000 per year. And
here's why: because if Crystal and Kim and Ann go to Dallas, right, you're going to, number 1, spend money to get there, and you want to recoup your investment. Number 2, you're going to develop a better belief system and understand Brandon and Jessica and our manufacturing process, and see it and understand it. And then we're all sitting in here in our living rooms right now all by ourselves, but you're going to be around like-minded people, and it's fun.
Crystal, I want to see you there. I expect a hug from you in Dallas. Just make it happen.
And so, the more people you can get to the event, what happens is you form that, bond, that team, that belief system, and
social
everybody.
Proof.
It's social proof. That's why they have people coming up on stage and giving their stories. So, because all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh my gosh, Shauna can do it up in Canada, and she's had success when they can't even get their products up in Canada. If she can do it, I can do it, right?
Tina and Danya are grandmas. These grandmas are going to kick my butt. No, they ain't.
Yeah, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's the idea behind it, is because for every person that tells their story, and then you hear these stories, such and such worked a full-time job, they were going through a divorce at the same time, they did this, and their puppy died, and they still got through it. And the point is that for everything that we go through ourselves, there's somebody in that same position that has overcome those things and yet still had success, right? And so this book is just so incredible, because it goes back to our daily checklist of things that we do every day. And all these things, and here's another: participate and engage with the team daily. Events are, webinars. Events are, team Zooms,
meetings.
right?
Yeah.
Team meetings.
Showing up on a team page.
Showing up on a team page. All these things are ways to plug in and recharge your battery and get support and feel part of the community. These are all things that are necessary to do. There is nothing on the daily checklist that we all can't do in an hour a day, right? And remember, network marketing don't compare yourself to the Tinas of the world that have made it a full-time living, right? Because network marketing is not built for that. Network marketing is built for people to make that $500 to $2,000 extra per month to get extra financial freedom, right? And then if you stick with it and you duplicate, eventually over time, you get to those bigger numbers. As a matter of fact, you know, in this book, Shauna, do you remember the 7-year plan? What people should be thinking of?
Well, everybody should be 3-year, 5, or 7-year plan, because it's like going to university, right? You go for 3 to 5 years. Some go for like 7 to 9 years, and they come out with all of these huge debts, like 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 30, 40,000 if you're, a doctor, going for a doctor or veterinarian or something. And then you have to go to work. With us, you can keep going and keep going and keep going. And once you hit that goal, then keep going again. And usually it takes a good 5 years to 7 years to see huge success.
Yeah, first of all, it takes a long time to master anything, right?
Yeah.
It takes years to
master.
master.
It does.
And that's why I go to school, and that's why, people don't become, top-notch lawyers their first year out of college. They have to go to law school, all of that stuff. And then they have to be a junior lawyer, associate, and everything, move up, right? They don't let surgeons operate on you as soon as they get into pre-med, right?
Yeah.
So it takes a long time to master skills. So the 1-3-5-7 formula Eric talks about is it will take, as a general rule, it'll take you about 1 year to become competent, not even good, competent and profitable in network marketing. And by the way, what does profitable mean? If you're spending $100 a month on our products, profitable means you made $150. So that's $50 a month is profitable, right? You know what I mean? It doesn't say how much. So first year, become competent and profitable. You'll know the basics, you'll cover expenses, and you'll be learning. It will take you about 3 years of consistent part-time effort in order to go full-time. So full-time for most is, $30,000 to $60,000 a year or something like that, about 3 years. And that's consistent effort over 3 years. By the way, take a month off, take every other day off over 3 years. Take every other day off over 3 years. That's only 1.5 years. You know what I'm saying? Because you missed out on that time. You missed out on those additional no's and yeses over 18 months to compound your efforts. Okay? It will take about 5 years of consistent effort to become a 6-figure earner or above. It will take about 7 years of consistent effort to become an expert. Tina and I are entering our 9th year. We developed our full-time income in year 3, 6-figure income in 4th year, the third full year, right? Because we started at a 6-month point.
But we showed up
every day. When we had an upline running team meetings for the first 2 years, every week we showed up at every meeting. We showed up at every event. We were on every call.
Religion.
And no matter what. And because we knew we had to learn, right? And guess what? When we started out, there are 700 people already on that team. I think one of us was the first one to get promoted to the second. I was the first one to get promoted to 2-star. Then Tina got promoted to 2-star. And then Tina was the first one to get promoted to 5-star, and I was the second one to get promoted to 5-star. Now, keep in mind, there are, by this time, thousands of other people. So what does that show you? That if you just follow the process, because all we did was follow a process. We're not sitting here claiming we're any experts in anything. Neither one of us were experts at this, and we still aren't. I don't, consider it. But all we do is we're relentlessly consistent at it. Even we're relentlessly consistent at making mistakes, right? So the point there is that it takes a long time, and it's only the people that consistently show up and willing to make those things. But this daily checklist that we have in our group.
Where's it at?
It's in the files section. I just bumped it up tonight. is really the
print it
whole,
out, tag your partners,
Yep.
tell them to print it out. Like, this is the gold. And I will tell you how important this is. When I started in 2011, Joe gave me this advice. He said, Tina, plan on being here 1 year out. And I promise you things will look entirely different 1 year out. And I was like, woohoo. And then he said, if you do these things every day, and the checklist may or may not have been slightly different, but it was the same basic thing. What I did, because I wasn't used to having the compound effect. I wasn't in network marketing before. I was used to clients showing up at my
people are
home
used to
base.
getting paid every day.
Yeah, like they would show up and they would give me a big fat check and I'd be like, woohoo, immediately. But what he knew was what the compound effect meant. So when he said that, and I knew I could trust him, and you guys can trust Joe, I was like, okay. He said, I promise you things will be different if you do these things every day. So I printed out these things and I put them in. I went to Office Max and I got one of those little plastic 8.5 by 11 stands. I inserted this on one side, and then on the flip side, I had what my goals were, my reasons for doing this. And I put that on my desk. And every day I would see that and I would be like, okay, I only got one more thing to do. Oh, I only have 2 more things to do. I honestly was that naive. I just knew that I could trust Joe. And sure enough, I did those things every day. I did them through traumas, dramas, chaos, excuses, all of the things that anyone else uses as a distraction. I saw this as my shot. I was a grandma. I had less than 200 people on my Facebook at the time. Who else? I was a former secretary. Who was going to ever give me the amount of money that I'm making today? No one. I saw this as my shot and I took it because I was like, if not this, what? I was hungry for my personal empowerment and I took it. And he was right. 1 year out looked different. 2 years out looked different. 3 years out was life changing. And it was me printing this out. And on the other side of that plastic thing, putting what my goals were. That changed everything for me. And when I got to that point where I personally felt it and proved it out, it then became, I cannot keep this from other women who are like me, who have no other way of experiencing this empowerment, experiencing this freedom, experiencing this level of choice. And eventually that allowed me to be part of helping him get out of working for corporate America and relieving this burden on his shoulders that he carried for our family all the time. So any woman who's looking for that way of helping their partner, that's it.
Well, that's exactly it's a process that we went through. And this is meant to be a process. Tina went through a transformation process from being one person to another. And that's really what we're doing, is transforming ourselves. And I'm going to make more training on that, by the way. But, this daily checklist, the first thing, by the way, is 15 to 30 minutes a day of personal development. We wanted to talk about personal development. Personal development is what? It means personal growth. It means we're developing ourselves. And we're trying to improve ourselves. So when we don't know something, we have to learn how to do something, right? And as entrepreneurs, we have to figure out how to do things. And the great thing is this book just gives us a great introduction to personal development, because keeping this by our sides every day, you know how many times a week or a day that we hear the question, what do I say next? What do I say next? Wait a second. This book, thank you, Danielle, it's right in there. This book, we're only given an answers from this book. So we're just pointing people to this book, because personal development, you should be able to go to this book and say, oh, wait, this says, my daily checklist says to invite 3 to 5, 10 people a day to take a look at my product or opportunity. How do I do that? I'll go do my personal development. I'll figure it out. Okay, they said this to me after I said that. Now what? Oh, this book, it shows me what to say next as a follow-up. Oh, they said that they don't have enough time to do this business. How do I handle that objection? This book shows me how to handle the time objection. It shows me how to handle the pyramid objection. It shows me how to handle anything that comes across in this business, right? And so when we use personal development, what we're doing is if we focus on, gosh, Joe and Tina, I see, here's what I hear, and it drives me, kind of crazy. People ask me all the time, well, what about Facebook ads? And you guys aren't teaching funnel training and, doing all this. It's like, wait a second. If you don't know what to say to people, do you think we're going to be able to teach you how to use Facebook ads and spend thousands of dollars on Facebook ads and create the right ads and create, learn how to do copywriting to attract people to take action? Those are thousands of dollars worth of training. And guess what? That's years 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, where those things come into play. You know what I mean?
And only
if you're
proactive.
If you're proactive, and because we can't teach that, because is that duplicatable to teach you to go out and spend $5,000, $10,000, and learn how to do that? Is it necessary? No, it's not. You want to know why? Because it doesn't duplicate. You know what duplicates? Everything that we teach that's free is what duplicates, right? Because that means everybody can do it. It's a few simple things that everybody can do. But the point is, if you want to know how to do something, personal development, you go research, how to, go do it, go do that on your time, right? And we can do that, apply that to everything. And of course, it's mindset, personal development, starting out with mindset training, just to say, I really got to get behind my mindset that I can do this, that I got to do the work, that I got to do, make myself better, that I can do this, that I do deserve this, that I should not feel bad about money, that I am good enough. All these things are mindset training. Or, oh my gosh, this day is tough. I don't think I can do this. Oh my gosh, this business is tough. I don't think I can do this. Guess what? Now you need to talk about emotional roller coasters of being an entrepreneur. That's mindset training, right? Oh my gosh, I'm used to getting paid every day. Guess what? That's mindset shift by Darren Hardy, to understand that you're not here to get paid for a transaction. You're here to invest time to learn, right? And for the payoff to come later on down the road, because after the compound effect, the payoff is much bigger than any of us could ever imagine. So that's what we're working for. But the point is consistency and sticking with it. And all the stuff is right here in these two things, and then some additional books on personal development of work every day. This is the whole business of network marketing, everyone. I always say we can teach this business in less than an hour, but it takes years to just keep practicing, and that's all it is. And it's a question of who's willing to stick with it the longest.
All right. Can I end on one thing? Actually, it's two things. So I want to help you make money. That is my signature jam. So events make money. So number one, are you going to be here on next Monday's call? I'm going to be here. Your leaders are going to show up for you. That's one event. The other event I want to talk about is the Dallas event. And I'll speak directly on this call to Dania and Crystal, who said they were hoping, or they have a ticket and whatever, and they were hoping they could make it. Here's why. I will see you both at that event. I'm going to give you dollar signs so you understand the power of it. For every person that you get to that event, Dania, do you know Tess? All right, so get Tess to that event. And anyone between now and then that you bring into this business, if you don't know how to share the value or you're not comfortable sharing the value, say, Tina, help me share the value to my new partner about getting to that event, and I will do that because I believe in it hugely. For every person that you get to an event, Kim McBride, I don't want you to show up at this event by yourself. I want you to bring partners. And that's because of this fact. For every person that you get to an event, that's an extra $1,000 on average per year for you. All right, so you're thinking one person, $1,000. All right, yay for me, $1,000 a year, right?
Well, it pays for your products for a year for one thing.
It does, right? But then we want to think about this because we're all in this for the long haul, right? What happens when you get 5 people to your first event? So that's $5,000 extra on average per year just by getting your people to that event, and they experience the social proof that this is real. They have the breakthroughs. So you have 5 people at your first event, right? That should be anyone's goal with their first event. If you have 3 people, great. That's $3,000 extra in your account. But 5 or more people should be your goal for that first event. And then imagine the next corporate event.
And they each bring 5 people.
Yeah. Then what are you talking about?
You got 25 people.
And you have more people in the hopper. What happens by year 3 or event number 3, I shouldn't say year number 3, event number 3, where you have 50 or 100 people at the event? Joe, do the numbers. What happens if you have 100 people at an event and that is on average $1,000 per people?
I think it's $100,000 per year.
All right, he's good at the math. That's what Eric Worre teaches. I didn't make up those statistics. That's Eric Worre. On average, each person, each butt that you get at an event, it's social proof, it's training, it is the community, all of those things. People leave those events. When I'm trying to recruit someone, for example, from another network marketing company that just went to an event, I'm like, I'm going to circle back with them in 3 months when they're not doing anything because I know they are jacked up and they're off the hook with belief in their company. So I'm just going to be like, circle back to them in 3 months.
Yeah, and see if something changed or whatever, because timing could be different. Something could happen or whatever. But that's exactly right. It's whoever gets to events, what you're doing is you're growing. It means you're growing.
Oh,
you're bringing 2 people, so you're growing.
I said on the call, I'm like, hey, do you know Tess? And I didn't even realize Tess was on the call.
Yeah, she had her hand raised. I saw that. So thank you.
Tess is coming and she's bringing people.
And so that's what it is outlasting people, because the people who outlast and get to these things are going to grow. And those people who bring more people are going to be the ones that are making, more money. So I hope y'all see this and how this is really a financial plan. It's a ladder towards what you want to achieve. It's, how else can a $50,000 a year employee get to $100,000 a year? Right? How else does it happen? Is a 2% raise if people are given raises, if companies are given raises? Is it going to be possible for a $50,000 a year employee? And nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I would imagine most $50,000 a year employees would like to be a $100,000 a year employee, right? Because what a difference would that make in your lifestyle and your family's life and your family's future, right? And so that's really what we're doing is remember what we've been back, or what we said at the beginning. What do you want? More financial freedom. Okay? And we have the ability to do that here. So I hope this all helps.
Wait. Before you sexy people leave, I'm going to give you a chance to smile for the camera. If you're not on the camera, get yourself on the camera so I can take your pretty picture, and we're gonna give everyone FOMO in our team page. Don't worry, I'm gonna count to 3 before I take the photo, but we're gonna give people FOMO because we want your people to show up on the next team call.
Tell people what you learned, because getting people on these calls, this is where they learn, right?
So I'll take this picture, I put it in the team page, and then if you guys will, for your benefit, for your team's benefit, there's Ann, she's hopping on, I love it. For your team's benefit, share underneath the photo what you get, what value you got from this call, if any. So I'm going to say 3, and on 3, I'm going to take the picture so you all can be looking as cute as you want to be looking, all right? All right, so I'm going to get it situated here, and I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. All right, I did
Awesome.
it.
Don't know
I
how to
love you guys.
screenshot.